Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back. And if you're new to my channel, then welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today with a book review of a book that I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about, but I feel like this is so important, especially in today's time when we are all working from home and we are all struggling to meet with deadlines while working at home, while keeping our homes clean, while doing the whole thing like very articulate soon. But the book I'm talking about is Joy at Work, Organizing Your Professional Life by Marie Kondo and Scott Sonnenschein. Marie Kondo, as we all know, is a tidying consultant, and she is the champion of the KonMari method of decluttering, in which you only keep those items with you which spark joy in you. Like, you hold it in your hands. If that sparks joy in you, then you keep it. Otherwise, you discard it or you give it away to someone. Scott Sonnenschein is an organizational psychologist who brings in his expertise and talks about the impact that clearing up your work and workspace will have on your own life and how it will improve your life as well as your work. This book was sent to me by Pan Macmillan India. Thank you, Pan Macmillan India, for this book, for the copy. So Joy at Work is mainly aimed at white-collar professionals to help them make their work lives easier, and it's to help them organize their work lives better in a way that will give them some mental peace. This book is divided into 11 chapters, and each chapter focuses on a different aspect of work life, and it tells us how you can tidy it up, how you can make it easier, and how it will affect your work and mental health as a long-term consequence, obviously. And Marie Kondo talks in chapters 1, 2, 3 and 11, and Scott Sonnenschein talks in the remaining chapters. In Marie Kondo's chapters, she talks about the physical aspects of decluttering, about applying the KonMari method to physically clearing your workplace and making it neat and tidy so that it improves your efficiency and gives you some sort of work peace. The thing I like about Marie Kondo's way of teaching things in this book is that she goes about it in a logical manner, and it's not difficult to see why she says what she says, and after a while you go, she makes a lot of sense. And she just makes it easy to just jump on and start decluttering according to the methods that she has mentioned in there. Her most important point is that you need to visualize your ideal workspace. You need to visualize how your desk will look, how everything in your workspace will look, and then build up around it. Like, it doesn't have to be you having nothing on your desk. All you have to do is just bring it to that ground zero, and then you can add whatever you think will give you joy. That is the whole point of her KonMari method. It's about keeping things that spark joy, not discarding everything that you can see. And she also talks about how clutter in the workspace will impact creativity, and how people who have a cleaner, a freer workspace have the ability to add so much more to the timelines. They can get so much more done than when you have dumps and dumps of things on your table. She also takes into account the time taken to search for things. For example, if you have a bunch of files on the table which you just keep on dumping, and then you suddenly need one file and you don't know where it is, so it takes you about 10 to 15 minutes to look for that file, and then finally when you're back, it just takes away from the time you could have spent on doing that work. Scott Sonnenschein speaks from chapters 4 through 10, and he focuses on the digital and non-physical aspects of work, like sorting your email, your digital data, your calendars, your tasks, and so much more. He also talks about how we can make changes to the way meetings are held, how we can make changes to the way decisions are made, tidying up your contact list, filtering through the people you keep in touch with, and tidying and freeing up your time. All of these are really important facets of work life, and if you can bring yourself to make changes, to make positive changes to these facets, then your workspace, your work life, and as a result your mental health will improve over time. It will significantly improve, and you can see the changes. Marie and Scott also hop into each other's chapters, and they share tidbits and anecdotes that are relevant to the topic being discussed in that chapter. And when all of this comes through, it results in a book that is super helpful. I'll talk more about it in the section in which I talk about what I liked about this book. But first, let's talk about what I did not like about the book. Say that there was nothing that I particularly didn't like about it. There was nothing that stood out to me, that screeched out to me and said, hey, see, I'm irritating you. Nothing of that sort. But the phrase spark joy, I mean, I know that it's like one of the most important parts of the KonMari method, because it's an important way in which to gauge which things to keep and which things to not keep. But that spark was repeated so many times that it sort of grated on my nerves. But I managed to ignore it, and I went ahead, I forged ahead, and it was good. But I also felt that some of the motivational things that Marie Kondo was saying in her chapters, and even when she appeared here and there, I felt they were a little bit too cheesy for me. But that's just me, because I know that a lot of people do like reading motivational stuff. It helps, pump them up. But this felt a little too much for me. And I also found Scott Sonnenshine's writing a little repetitive. And I know that, sometimes repeating these things in a non-fiction book, a self-help book like this, it might help imbibe those concepts, those points in the mind of a reader, but not for me, please. But I also need to mention that these are the only things that I did not like about the book, but they are not that big that they impacted my impression of what Marie Kondo and Scott Sonnenshine was saying in it. My final impression of the book is mostly based on the positives that they mentioned throughout the book, and these I had to mention because I felt them at some point or the other. See, the thing is that I had heard somewhere that if you have read Marie Kondo's books before, if you have read even one of her books, then you will find this book repetitive. Maybe because I hadn't read any of her books before, or I haven't even watched her film on Netflix. But maybe because it was because of that, I did find the concepts that she mentions in this book to be very intriguing, very genuinely interesting. And this is especially because she has put down everything so logically on paper that it becomes hard for you to not see the point that she is making. And the thing is, I could imagine myself doing every single one of the steps that the authors were mentioning in the book. And even in my imagination, I realized that the positive end results that the authors talk about are logical conclusions to the steps taken to declutter our workspace, our contact lists, our times, our decisions, our meetings, everything, that whole package. It's just logical. It makes so much sense. And I know it might sound a little surprising that even imagining it felt that way, but it's true. It happened to me, and I really liked that happened to me, because that made me relate to the book so much more. See, this is also because I found that I do a lot of the things that they mention in the book, but I also end up going back to square one. So I realized that I need to maintain that status of peace when I see my desk is all neat and arranged and all that. And I know that someday I will be implementing what they've mentioned in this book, and hopefully I'll find that mental peace by only keeping those things that spark joy for me. These I'm not giving away, but it matters to everything else. Plus, I have the habit of saying yes to everything. And when Scott was talking about this in one of his chapters, I was like, I do this. And I do need to stop doing that so that I will gain some more peace from my work. I say more peace because working with books is like the most peaceful of things I could have ever done. And yeah, let's not go into that. And I think that the more I talk about this book, the more I will give the essence away. The essence of this will be better off if you absorb it on your own as you read the book. But I have to mention that the essence that we are talking about, again, I mean, I'm repeating the word, but that essence is amazing. It will be very helpful if you read the book and implement it, of course. There are no exercises as such in the book, but the moment you start reading it to the moment you finish reading, you close the book, you will agree with everything they have to say. And because it's logical. So I'll just stop here with the last point, that if you are looking to organize your professional life in physical and non-physical ways, then this is a book that you can definitely pick up. It will be of utmost help to you. But there's one caveat if you decide to pick this book up, is that if you have read Marie Kondo's writings, Marie Kondo's books before, then please go into this with the expectation of finding familiar things. Don't take them as repetitive, just take them as adaptive concepts that Marie has molded to fit your workspace and professional life. I gave Marie Kondo and Scott Sonnenshine's book Joy at Work, Organizing Your Professional Life 4 out of 5 stars. So I would highly recommend this book. So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Will you pick Joy at Work up? Do you think it will help you? Are there any other books that you would like to recommend to, organize your professional life? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.